The only people who now publicly seem poised to hold Donald Trump personally accountable are black prosecutors. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, New York Attorney General Letitia James, Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, and D.C. Attorney General Karl Racine are all investigating Trump either for his private business dealings or his election-related actions. Trump is now accusing them of being racist.
If these radical, vicious, racist prosecutors do anything wrong or illegal, I hope we are going to have in this country the biggest protest we have ever had in Washington, D.C., in New York, in Atlanta, and elsewhere, because our country and our elections are corrupt.
Trump also called Congressman Thompson's Select Committee investigating January 6th a disgrace. But these investigations hold out the last best hopes for accountability as threats remain over the next midterm election and all future elections. According to States United Action, which is a nonpartisan group tracking secretaries of state's races across the country, about 21 Republican candidates who disputed that President Biden won the election are campaigning in 18 states to be their state's next election overseers. And according to a new poll that asked 23,000 Americans if it's ever justifiable to engage in violent protest against the government, about 1 in 4 said that they thought it was okay, and about 1 in 10 said it's okay right now. So with all these threats out there to our election system, will black prosecutors even be able to hold Trump accountable and save this democracy? Joining me now to discuss is professor and former chair of Pan-African Studies at California State University, Los Angeles, Melina Abdullah. So, Melina, you know, it just kind of works out this way, that these black prosecutors end up standing in the breach, right? These are the only people that we know publicly. We don't know what the Justice Department is doing, but publicly we don't know that we know they haven't convened a grand jury yet, so because that would be public knowledge. So we don't know if they're investigating or not. All that we know is that these 4 black prosecutors are investigating, in addition to Benny Thompson being a black man leading the January 6th investigation. What does this say about, you know, where we are in the country, that these are the people who are the only people who can do something?
Right. Well, one, thank you for having me. And as we go there, I also want to think about that imagery that where Trump is speaking, and you see people standing behind them and behind him, and clearly Trump made T-shirts that say "Blacks for Trump," standing next to people with T-shirts that say "Cops for Trump." One, I have never heard black people ever refer to ourselves as blacks. Right? We're never the blacks, right? We are black people, maybe African Americans. I've heard us call ourselves that, but never blacks. So he's clearly manufacturing some things and has been able to kind of buy some people off to stand behind him. But 2, getting to your question, why is it these black prosecutors who are willing and able and courageous enough to hold Trump accountable? That's the way black people have always been. So as we stand on the eve of Black History Month, right, it's really important that we remember black history, that at the forefront of every struggle for justice and accountability, whether it's directly and primarily related to black people or not, black people are at the forefront, and our struggle benefits everyone else too. So I don't think it's coincidental. I don't think it's the case that, you know, Letitia James happens to be black or Racine happens to be black. I think it's because that has been the charge of black people, to struggle for racial and social justice in every space that we occupy.
When he was at that rally, he talked about, you know, if these investigations don't go the right way, whatever he considers to be the right way, he wants massive protests in the places where these prosecutors are. Is that a threat?
absolutely a threat. And I mean, even the her, you know, I'm going to put my professor hat on. You know, I also organize with Black Lives Matter. So there's an organizing hat and there's a professor hat. Sometimes they overlap, right? But I'm going to put my professor hat on right now. It's really important that we understand the meaning of racism. What is racism? And I think that there's been a lot of rhetoric, and people on the right and non-Black people and white people in particular have found themselves in a place and have had the audacity to think that they have the authority to determine what racial politics are, right? So you hear them talking in terms that they know nothing about, right? Critical race theory, for instance, is often pushed forward. I dare anybody who's a critic of critical race theory to define critical race theory. They haven't. They've never read Derek Bell. They've never read Kimberly Crenshaw. They don't even know what discipline that comes from. We don't even teach critical race theory in K through 12, right? So they don't know what they're talking about. Similarly, Trump has no idea what he's talking about when he uses the term racism. Racism requires the power to oppress based on race. These attorneys general cannot be racist, right? Even if they are talking about prosecuting Trump, they are not behaving in a way, they cannot have the power based on race to actually be racist. So he's hurling a term that he doesn't have the knowledge or basis to define. They cannot be, they are Black people. They are not racist. Trump, on the other hand, is. And so I think that he's trying to kind of obfuscate what he actually is. If we think about the history of people like Letitia James, who has gone after, for instance, slumlords, right? You know, Donald Trump is a slumlord, right? So we can think about why he has so much vindictiveness against these folks who dare to go after him. And it's really important, again, that we understand what it is they're doing. What they're doing is calling for justice against someone who himself is absolutely a racist
Right.
and a white supremacist.
So I have a little bit over a minute left, but the Fulton County District Attorney Willis is asking the FBI to help secure a county courthouse and government center after Trump made these comments on Saturday. Election officials have already been getting death threats. So, you know, this is an ongoing act of terror that you could argue is being conducted by the former president. How dangerous a position are we in electorally when this is the condition of our election system?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important that we understand what Trump does and what his pattern of behavior has been. He uses rhetoric to whip his supporters up into a violent frenzy. And this is extremely dangerous, especially as we enter an election year. We know that they've been violent in the past, and they have the capacity to be violent and the likelihood to be violent if these kinds of calls are issued by people like Trump. They have the capacity to be violent moving forward.
Melina Abdullah, thank you for joining us. As always, I really appreciate your time tonight.